Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Emily Rose and I'm so excited because today I'm doing a totally different video. I have not done a video like this and I'm super excited because I've always loved books, and as you can tell by the title, I am showing you the books that I have read in the last 6 months. Means it's 6 months into the year, and I told myself at the start of this year that I wanted to read at least 5 to 10 books for the whole entire year, and I've already read 5. So if you are interested in watching and seeing my reviews on the books I have read, if you are interested, then just keep watching. Okay, so we are starting off with the first book. I started reading this, I think it was maybe at the end of December or it might have been the start of January, I'm not 100% sure, but I kept track and I did finish this book February 18th, and this is Burn by Helen Hart. If you guys have not heard of this book, you guys are missing out. This is like an incredible series. This is book 5, of course, and I have just loved it. So of course I'm not going to read you the back of this one because if you have not read it, then I don't want to spoil anything for you. But this is the very first book. So this is what the series is about. So after being left at the altar, Jade Roberts seeks solace at her best friend's ranch on the Colorado Western Slope. Her humiliation still ripe, she doesn't expect to be attracted to her friend's recent brother, but when the gorgeous cowboy kisses her, all bets are off. Talon Steele is broken, having never fully healed from a horrific childhood trauma. He simply exists, taking from women what is offered and giving nothing in return, until Jade Roberts catapults into his life. She is beautiful, sweet, and giving, and his desire for her becomes a craving he fears he'll never be able to satisfy. Passion sizzles between the two lovers, but long-buried secrets haunt them both and may eventually tear them apart. May not sound as good to you as it does to me, but it means I've read so many of these. It's also for mature audiences, but my mom actually seen this and it was recommended on Facebook to people that loved like 50 Shades of Grey, because I loved those movies. And so I thought, I'm gonna get the book and try it out, and then I realized that she has like a whole series within this, and it's kind of cool because the story keeps going, and it's not just Talon and Jade. It actually goes to his brothers and everything too, so that is a very, very cool transition. I haven't read a lot of series of books. I've normally always read just like a book maybe that was just like the one book, but this is just a very amazing book, and I love it so much that I remember, even though it's been quite a few months, like 5 months I guess, I remember exactly what went on in the 5th book. So I am very excited to get book number 6. The last like 3 or 4 times I've been to like 2 different Barnes and Nobles, and I've been to a different bookstore that was just kind of like a cute little small bookstore, and I cannot find the 6th one, so I might have to order it online, but I also want to take a trip to Barnes and Noble pretty soon, so maybe I'll find it there. Okay, so Burn by Helen Hart. Like I said, I cannot rave enough about this. I love this series. I have loved every single book, and I read these so fast, it's not even funny. I never want to put it down, and the story just grabs you in, pulls you in, and it keeps you wanting more of the story and wanting to know what's actually going to go on. So for that, I am going to give this 5 out of 5 stars just because I love it that much, and I'm so excited to read number 6, like I said. So this next book I read is also within a series. This is like the 3rd book, and I watched the movie first, and then I realized what it was actually about, that it was from a book. But so I never start another book on the same day that I finish another one. I always just give myself the rest of that day to just kind of process what happened in that book, and then like the next day I'll start a book. So I started this book February 19th and I finished it April 27th. This is a pretty big book, and for some reason it just took me forever to read it, but I swear that this book is very good. As you can see, it's a thick book. So it's not a quick read at all, but it's After We Fell, which is in the After series. So they have movies, of course, and this was actually a Wattpad novel, if you guys have ever read anything on Wattpad, and it was actually a fanfic about Harry Styles, and then she switched it up, I guess, and changed it into an actual book. I didn't read it when it was about Harry Styles, of course, but so yes, and I love her writing style. She is just amazing, and these books are better than the movies, which I think every book is better than the movie, but so I don't ruin it for you if you have not read these books. I will tell you a little bit about what the first book was. So of course the first book is After, and after life will never be the same. Tessa is a good girl with a sweet, reliable boyfriend back home. She's got direction, ambition, and a mother who's intent on keeping her that way. But she's barely moved into her freshman dorm when she runs into Hardin with his tousled brown hair, cocky British accent, tattoos, and lip ring. Hardin is a cute and different from what she's used to, but he's also rude to the point of cruelty. Even for all his attitude, Tessa should hate Hardin, and she does until she finds herself alone with him in his room. Something about his dark mood grabs her, and when they kiss, it ignites within her a passion she's never known before. He'll call her beautiful, then insist he isn't the one for her and disappear without a word. Despite the reckless way he treats her, Tessa is compelled to dig deeper and find the real Hardin beneath all his lies. He pushes her away again and again, yet every time she pushes back, he only pulls her in deeper. Tessa already has the perfect boyfriend, so why is she trying so hard to overcome her own? Her pride and Hardin's prejudice about nice girls like her, unless, could this be love? So of course it sounds very good. I also have a style of books that I always kind of go with, so they're always a little bit mature, but yes, this is just, it's such a good book, and like the movies are really good, but I love the books even more. And so yeah, I finished this one in April, and of course the writing, the story, the book itself, I would probably give it a 5 stars. 5 out of 5. Like I said, the only reason it took me a long time to read it was just such a big book, and I was just so busy, and I had like some health issues and stuff that was going on in the midst of this, so it was just kind of hard for me to get into it like I wanted to, but it is a very amazing book, and I recommend it to anyone. So this book I started April 29th. I kind of took a couple days off, I guess, and I finished it May 23rd. It's called This Day, which is the second book in the series. I'm sure a lot of you have either read this or watched this because it was a phenomenon and I'm a little behind, but it is the 365 Days that is on Netflix. They made a movie about it. These are the books, and I swear, like I said, every time the books are always better than the movie, but oh my goodness, the characters that they picked out, the actors that they picked for the characters from the book are just like spot on, and oh my gosh, I love it so much. The guy that they got to play Massimo is like the perfect guy and the perfect example of what they described him as, and so I love that though. But Of course, if you have not watched it, I will not read the back of this because I don't want to ruin it for you in case it does say something that you may not want to know if it might ruin the book for you, because I hate when people do that. But, of course, this is the first one. The deeply sexy and romantic international best-selling novel that inspired the blockbuster Netflix movie. Laura Beale, her boyfriend, and two friends are on a dream vacation in beautiful Sicily. On the second day of their trip, her 29th birthday, she is kidnapped. Her kidnapper is none other than the head of a powerful Sicilian crime family, the incredibly handsome young Don Massimo Torcelli, who has determined that he will possess this woman at all costs. Massimo has his reasons. After an earlier attempt on his life, he almost died, and during this crisis, a vision appeared before his eyes, a beautiful woman identical to Laura. He survived that attack, vowing to himself that he would find the woman he had seen while near death and make her his own. No matter what, for 365 days, Massimo will keep Laura captive in his estate and attempt to win her heart. If she doesn't fall in love with him during this time, he'll let her go, but if she tries to escape at any point, he will track down and kill her entire family. Soon, Laura develops a fascination with her handsome and powerful captor, but as a precocious, risky relationship forms between them, forces outside their control threatens to tear them apart. Like I said, I loved the movies, but I don't think the second movie is as good as the second book, but I do love this book. And I know I've gave this to the last two books, but just because I was so into this book, loved it, it didn't take me that long to read, I will give it a 5 out of 5 stars just because there wasn't nothing that I disliked about it, and it was just such a good read that I would recommend it to anybody. So it's a 5 out of 5 stars for me. Number 4 that I have read, I started this book May 24th and I ended it June 3rd. Like, this book, oh my goodness, I could just not get enough of it. The story was completely different, and like, I will say, at the start of this book, like the first 30 pages, it was kind of boring, and I was like, what kind of story is this gonna be? Where is this going? And of course, I've never read a book like this other than when I was younger. I read, they were kind of like horror type ghost books that had videos along with them called Skeleton Creek. But other than that, I've always been a romance novelist. I've always loved romance. I've always loved like things like 50 Shades of Grey, you know, 365 Days After. It's just what I liked. So at first it was very hard to get into this book and to like this book. But as I got about halfway through, just it kind of twisted me and captivated me into like, I wanted to know what the story was actually going to be about, what was actually going to happen in the end, how they were going to end it. So that kind of kept me going, and I would say the last quarter of this book, it was just like mind-blowing. There was like a plot twist that I did not really see coming until like it was right there in front of you. It is such a good book, and it is older, so a lot of you may know it, but I don't know if you do or not. But it's a thriller, and it's called The Girl on the Train. Of course, they also have the movie that goes along with the book, and I also watched the movie after reading the book. And I cannot tell you enough that they made the movie exactly like the book, and I loved how they kept the style almost of the book in the movie. And out of the few books I have read, they have not always done that. There's always been things that they kind of, you know, twisted and everything, but the movie is almost exactly like the book. I would say that there was probably maybe like 4 things or so, maybe 3 things that were a little bit different, and like the story went just a little off of what the book was, but other than that, they done an amazing job. And Emily Blunt, I think it is, plays the girl in the book. Her name is Rachel, and she done an amazing job. If you guys don't know what this book is about, it says every day is the same. Rachel takes the same commuter train every morning and night. Every day she rattles down the track, flashes past a stretch of cozy suburban homes, and stops at the signal that allows her to daily watch the same couple breakfasting on their deck. She's even started to feel like she knows them. Jess and Jason, she calls them. Their life, as she sees it, is perfect, not unlike the life she recently lost. Until today, and then she sees something shocking. It's only a minute until the train moves on, but it's enough. Now everything's changed. Unable to keep it to herself, Rachel goes to the police. But is she really as unreliable as they say? Soon she is deeply entangled, not only in the investigation, but in the lives of everyone involved. Has she done more harm than good? Oh my gosh. I loved this book. Like I said, probably just because, like I said, the first almost half of this book, at least like the first 30 pages, I know I had to push myself to keep reading this book, and if I wouldn't have, then I would not have seen how good of a book this actually is. So maybe just for that I wish that they would have, I don't know, like gave you a little at the start of the book. I will give this 4.5 out of 5 stars, just because other than that it is amazing, and otherwise it's so good. And I really wish I would find another book like this, because I would love to like just reread this, but without knowing what's actually going to happen. I was not going to include this book in this video because I kind of started it in June, and I wanted to just do the books that I read up till June, so it'd be like the 6-month span. But I decided to put it in because I just freshly read it, so I wanted to remember exactly how I felt about this book and how to tell you guys how well I liked this book. So I decided to just put it in here. But oh my goodness, so I started this book June 4th, and I just ended it yesterday, which was June 7th, and it's The Summer I Turned Pretty. Oh my goodness, the book is beautiful and the story is beautiful, but oh my goodness, this just has an ending that just kind of, I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but it is a little bit of almost a tearjerker. I did not cry, but I was like teary-eyed because it was just a heartfelt ending to this book. But of course it is a series, so I will be picking up the second book the next time I go to Barnes & Noble. I have watched her movies. I have not read the books though, but because I did not know it was actually from a book. But To All the Boys I've Loved Before on Netflix, she actually was the writer of that because it was a book first, Jenny Han. And I just want to say, like, this is a short book. It's only like 270 some pages, but it's just like one of those books that it's so cute, and it's just kind of a flowy, natural story. It's just kind of like one of those things that like a feel-good story, like when you were younger and you would have like those movies or maybe TV shows that you just look forward to. This was kind of like that. It took me back to when I was a little bit younger and I was looking forward to watching like Hannah Montana or something on TV. And so what this story is about is some summers are just destined to be pretty. When each summer begins, Belly leaves her school life behind and escapes to Cousins Beach, the place she has spent every summer of her life. Not only does the beach house mean home away from home, but her favorite people are there. Susan, her mother's best friend, and her sons Conrad and Jeremiah. Belly has been chasing Conrad for as long as she can remember, and more than anything, she hopes this summer will be different. Despite distractions from a new guy named Cam and lingering looks from Conrad's brother Jeremiah, Belly's heart belongs to Conrad. Will he offer his to her? Will this be the summer that changes everything? So this was very, very good. I'm so excited to read the second book, which is called It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han. And so I know, like, but I've just loved so many of these books because I have seen them recommended by people, and I kind of find them on my Pinterest recommendations of books. So this one I would definitely give 5 out of 5 stars. It was just such a good read. I loved it, and I would see myself picking this book up again, definitely, and I'm so excited and looking forward to book 2 in the series. Okay, so that is all the books that I have read in the last 6 months. And so I'm hoping to do 5 more in the next 6 months, so that way for this whole year I have read 10 books is my goal. Maybe even more, but that's what I'm kind of focusing on. That was my goal at the start of the year, was just to read 5 to 10 books this year. I wanted to share with you the book that I am reading next. So this was also another one that I see on Pinterest, because that's where I get most of my ideas of books from, is like the list that they kind of like tell you about. Either that, or now I have a Barnes & Noble membership, so I get emails, and then I've also got some book recommendations off of there too. But this is the next one. I have not started it, I just stuck my little bookmark in there. But so this is the next one that I am reading. This is a thriller. I'm pretty sure it's a fiction, but it's also a thriller. But anyways, it's called The Couple Next Door, a novel by Shari Lapena. I don't know how exactly to pronounce that. I am so sorry. I am bad with pronouncing certain names, even though I have a very different name myself. But so this book I seen off of Pinterest, and I thought that it looked interesting. It says, "Where did that baby go? It's hard not to read to the end to find out, and the twists waiting there are gratifyingly clever." USA Today said that about this book. So it says, Anne and Marco Contine seem to have it all: a loving relationship, a wonderful home, and their beautiful baby, Cora. But one night, when they are at a dinner party next door, a terrible crime is committed. Suspicion immediately falls on the parents, but the truth is much more complicated. What follows is the nerve-wracking unraveling of a family. Detective Rasbach knows that the panicked couple is hiding something inside the curtained house. Anne and Marco both soon discover that the other is keeping secrets they've kept for years. The shocking truth will leave you breathless. That just sounds just so intriguing, so I'm very excited to read this book. Of course, I will let you guys know what I think in my next book video. If you guys are interested in videos like this, then let me know. And maybe I've been seeing a lot of girls that do a reading for 24 hours challenge book or whatever, so maybe if you guys like watching book videos, I will post some book videos. Let me know down in the comments. I would like to thank you if you guys made it this far, and of course, if you liked this video, then please like and subscribe. If not, it's okay. I still love you. Mwah. Thank you.